Hi everyone, this is Jessica in Communications for the City of Battle Creek, and this is the City Commission Agenda Review for April 11th, 2023. We have a 5:30 p.m. workshop and a 7 p.m. regular meeting that night. Let's start first with the workshop. The topic for this one is the impact of rising gas prices on a fuel surcharge to the city and our resulting services from Republic. So let's go through some highlights from the staff presentation that's going to happen that night. And you can also find this on our website already, and I'll show you where that is in a few minutes. So some background for you. We have contracted with Republic Services since the spring of 2021 for garbage, recycling, yard waste, and related services. We have about 17,000 residential households in the city that get those services. That's weekly garbage pickup and every other week recycling. Part of our contract is a fuel surcharge. This is calculated monthly based on diesel fuel costs and Republic's costs. And when we first signed the contract with Republic, the Midwest region diesel fuel price was about $2.62 per gallon. For most of 2021, diesel was above $3 a gallon. And then it skyrocketed in the spring of 2022 and was above $5 per gallon for most of that year. So this made the fuel surcharges for 2022 total close to $300,000. The problem with this is that it's putting a big strain on our solid waste fund. The fund had a loss of almost $180,000 for our budget year that ended June 30th of 2022. The estimate for the coming year is a loss between $250,000 and $300,000. With the fund currently sitting at just over $241,000. So we're not collecting enough money to cover those expenses. Along with that, we need to rebuild the fund balance in the solid waste fund so that we can sustain it for the long term. One thing we've done already is to change how we pay some of our staff that we were paying from that solid waste fund, and that'll save about $30,000 a year. Beyond that, city staff have come up with 3 options to help this situation, and they're going to discuss these at the workshop with the City Commission. 2 of them do involve higher garbage rates for neighbors over the rest of our contract with Republic, which ends on June 30th, 2026, with some potential renewals built in that the Commission would discuss at that time. Proposal 1. We would use the city's American Rescue Plan Act money to cover the surcharges through the end of this budget year, which ends June 30th, 2023. Then we would increase garbage rates to $24.85 starting July 1 of this year, instead of the current projected rate of $21.48. Proposal 2. We would use the city's ARPA money to cover the surcharges through the end of this budget year, again, June 30th, 2023. And we would also use ARPA funds to cover any potential shortfall in fuel surcharges for the 2024 budget year. Starting July 1, 2024, then we would increase garbage rates to $25.71 instead of the current projected rate of $22.34. So in both of those proposals, the rate increase is $3.37, or about 15%. Proposal 2 delays the increase, so that means neighbors would have to pay the increase for a shorter period of time before the contract ends in 2026 and would be up for renewal. In Proposal 3, we would use ARPA money and the city's general fund to cover the fuel surcharge shortfall through the end of the current Republic contract. And again, that's 2026. This would mean no additional rate increase for neighbors due to those surcharges. You can learn more on April 11th at the workshop. Again, that starts at 5:30 p.m. in the 3rd floor Commission Chambers at City Hall, 10 North Division Street. You can also watch live on the city's YouTube channel or watch the replay later. Now I'm going to share my screen and we will move to talking about the regular City Commission meeting on April 11th. So you'll see we are on the agendas, minutes, and videos page. Again, that if you go up to the Your Government tab at our website, battlecreekmi.gov, under Mayor and City Commission, we have agendas, minutes, and videos, and that's where you'll find all our commission agendas. Firstly, real quick, you'll see here April 11th workshop. topic is the fuel surcharge, and you can click the online agenda there and see the presentation that I mentioned that I pulled this information from that we just talked about. So we'll move up to the top entry, which is City Commission meeting for April 11th, and we'll click on the online agenda so that we can go through that together. And as a reminder, to learn about the different parts of our City Commission meetings and agendas, check out the introductory video we did for you, and that is linked below in the description box. On April 11th, we will have 2 proclamations. The first one is for National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, which is April 9th to 15th, and recognizes the Calhoun County 911 staff. That is also the Calhoun County Consolidated Dispatch. The second proclamation is for Earth Week, and that's April 17th to 23rd. We have one public hearing on April 11th, and that's related to adult use marijuana establishment permits. And that is the acronym you will see related to this, AUME. And these are permits for the 315 locations at 1525 West Michigan and 2245 West Columbia. This is to hear public comment and a response from the permit applicant, if they wish, about the city seeking to suspend, revoke, and or not renew their permits. You can see the letters from us to the applicant about this attached to the agenda online or in the city clerk's office. It has to do with an action they took to enter a third-party management agreement without updating their information with the city. Our consent agenda is small for April 11th and just includes 2 sets of minutes from previous meetings and the city manager's report for April 11th. We have 9 regular resolutions for April 11th, so let's go through those. Reso 99 is an agreement with the business known as Verizon to add antennas and other related equipment to the cell tower they already have at our McCrae Park on Eldred Street. That includes a small shelter for some of their equipment. They will pay us $12,000 per year in rent with a 2% increase each year starting in 2025. And this money goes to one of our recreation budgets. Resos 100 and 101 are a follow-up to that public hearing that we just talked about from earlier in the meeting. They allow the commission to vote on whether to revoke and not renew the adult use marijuana establishment license for the 2 315 locations that we mentioned. Reso 102 would allow us to pay a $60,000 grant to the Michigan Advocacy Program to continue some really important housing work. This is part of our federal Community Development Block Grant money from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. You'll probably hear those as acronyms most often. Those are CDBG funds from HUD. We've worked with others in the community to find out that we need a program to decrease racial differences in homelessness and eviction in Battle Creek. The data we've collected with other community partners also suggests that a lot of families who are struggling with housing might have a credit issue or a prior eviction. So the Michigan Advocacy Program provides housing case management and eviction diversion to help people stay in their housing and also provides legal services. Next, Reso 103 would change a project completion date. New Level Sports and the city made a CDBG agreement in October of 2022 to build an ADA-compliant youth learning center with childcare in the Washington Heights revitalization area. The agreement gave a completion date of December 31st of this year, but during the planning, we all determined that the project needs more time. So this resolution would make the deadline December 31st of 2024, adding a year on. Next, Reso 104 would allow us to enter into 2 easement agreements with property owners on Watkins Road. And this allows us to get onto the properties to do a needed project. There's a culvert for Mingus Brook under Watkins that was built in the 1970s by the county. It's currently too shallow for the water there, and so we need to update it to prevent erosion of the private properties. So we need to get onto their properties to do that. Reso 105 lets us enter into an easement agreement with Consumers Energy for a new streetlight. This was a neighborhood request due to a dark area in the 100 block of Ludwig Avenue. We asked consumers to analyze the streetlights in that area, and they agreed that the street needs another light. So this agreement and the easement will allow them to do the work to install it. Reso 106 is to approve the low and responsible bid to do work at our wastewater treatment plant out on River Road. In the fall of 2021, there was an explosion during work on our biosolids tank there while a contractor was doing some welding. No one was hurt, but the tank roof was damaged, and it's time for us to replace it. The bid is for RK Davis for up to about $830,000 to finish this project. And finally, Reso 107 is to accept the low and responsible bid to do some repair and restoration work to the Welcome to Battle Creek wall on the way into downtown off the Penetrator, and to the Sojourner Truth Monument at Monument Park, which is behind the wall. About $100,000 of this project is from our American Rescue Plan Act money, and the bid is for Building Restoration, Inc. for up to about $164,000 total. For more information and some supporting documents on all the items on our agendas, please check it out online or get a paper copy in the City Clerk's office at City Hall. Thanks for joining me for this City Commission preview for April 11th, 2023. Watch these meetings live or as replays on the City of Battle Creek, Michigan YouTube channel, and get connected with your City of Battle Creek.